Biofriendly podcast. It's the Biofriendly podcast.
Now we're all feeling in the groove, right?
I'm in the groove.
You're in the groove?
I've never left the groove. I've been in the groove.
The groove is in the heart, they say,
Yes, it
as
is.
the old proverb
Groove is in the heart.
once said, once upon a time, groove is in the heart.
Classic.
Yes. Well,
We have a guest today, Jacob.
we do. You're introducing the guest.
I'm
I love
so
it.
excited.
Yes.
I'm
Would you
so
like?
excited.
I am very excited.
We
Would
have Jyoti with a T. Stephens
Yes. From
Nature's Path.
Nature's
This
Path.
is a big one for me, actually, and I'm very glad that you. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jyoti. Really great to have you. It's
you.
exciting for me because I when I decided to be healthy about a year ago. I probably should have decided to be healthy a long time ago because it's better to be healthy than to not be healthy.
Right. Good point.
I don't know. But then I was like, not feeling so great. I think I turned 40 something or something.
It happens.
And then I was like, well, I should probably try to be fitter, try to eat better, whatever.
Right.
And my wife brings home this Flax brand
Nature's
cereal.
Path.
Nature's Path Flax brand flakes, I think they're called.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah, like that was the instinct was you see it and you're like, oh, what's this gonna
like,
be?
oh man, I'm all this fiber. It's gonna be good for me, but geez, I'm gonna fight through it. And then I ate it, and I was like, wait, this doesn't taste like Total.
Yeah, this is good.
This doesn't taste like cardboard.
Yeah.
This is all right.
Yeah.
There was just a hint of sweetness, which I don't know where it came from, but not too much, but like a little bit. And I was like, these are really like pretty good.
You were on the Nature's Path.
And then I went on the Nature's Path, and I was like, this is really awesome that somebody found something that was really good for this. And I never figured that okay, I was like, okay, good, it's cereal, so that's it.
Right.
That'll be whatever, but then we find out that
There's a whole bunch of stuff.
there's a whole bunch of stuff, but also that we might get a chance to talk to Jyoti today, and
I
then
know.
talk to the person who made the cereal that made me healthy.
She
for
made it
me,
personally.
I was excited that we're going to have you on today and talk about. But we're not just going to talk cereal.
Yeah, we're
gonna
gonna talk about the whole-
environment. We're going
the
to talk
whole
the
path.
world. We're going to talk about Jyoti's life.
Yes.
About all sorts of great things. We're going to put you right on the spot, put lots of pressure, make it tough. Just kidding, of
Exactly.
course.
Yeah.
So thank you. Anyway, that was a long introduction, but welcome, Jyoti, to the show.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit, since Noel did a great introduction about Nature's Path, tell us more of what he didn't cover. What is Nature's Path as a whole?
Yeah. So, to go kind of back to the origins of Nature's Path, my dad grew up on a farm on Vancouver Island. Nice. And my grandfather was a World War I vet, and he turned to agriculture and farming to help heal himself from the PTSD of fighting in the trenches.
Wow.
And while a lot of his neighbors had, embraced the tools of modern agriculture, he was really interested in what some of the early organic and regenerative agriculture pioneers like George Washington Carver and Sir Albert Howard had done around helping to grow and nurture the soil. And he told my dad to always leave the soil better than you found it. And that's really at the root of what we're trying to do at Nature's Path, which is to leave the earth better than we found it.
Wow.
So my parents started a number of businesses, but they were all connected to food and healing through making healthier foods and healing the planet through organic food and farming. And that included starting one of Canada's first natural food stores, opening one of Vancouver's first vegetarian restaurants, and then starting Nature's Path in 1985, which was North America's first organic food manufacturer.
I did not
today
know
we're
that.
its largest.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Wow, we have a hero in the show. This is
and
amazing.
So this is
awesome.
this is linked to your family directly. This is your family
It is.
business.
Yeah,
It is our family
We knew
business,
that.
yeah.
We were told that.
You're right.
But you weren't paying attention again.
No, here's the thing.
See, we go into these meetings, and then Jacob just falls asleep. You stare. Oh, your eyes are open. And you smile.
Yes.
And you nod.
I draw eyes on my lids and I close them and I sleep through everything. No,
Yeah.
you're right. Now that it's coming back to me, I'm still just in wonder of it. I think it's amazing.
It is.
So, yeah.
It's so cool. Actually, we talked. We've covered I mean, we haven't covered them all because there's always new ones. We've covered many of the issues regarding the environment and how we're going to help it and fix the whole thing. We're going to solve it, right?
We've taken it upon ourselves to fix the whole planet.
Yeah, just to fix it.
Amazing.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bear with us.
Just real quick. Just give us a second. We'll get it done.
Yeah.
But the soil degeneration. I mean, I'm so glad you brought that. Was like we did a whole podcast on that, and what a kind of a danger and a worry and a concern that is. I'm really glad that you brought that up. It's so cool that your family were thinking about that.
Back in the 80s.
Back before, earlier than that.
Yeah.
Sounds like it was in the 30s, right?
Back in the 40s, really. For my grandmother, and then in the natural food side back in the 70s. So my parents started a health food store called Lifestream Natural Foods, and they were one of the first stores to sell organic food in Vancouver, where our business is based.
That's awesome.
The only thing I know about Vancouver Island, it's gotten a lot of popularity recently because it was on that TV show Alone. That was like where that's a harsh environment to have to survive through sometimes. Are you familiar with that TV show
I didn't watch Alone.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Well, it got all this popularity because I think somebody mentioned it, some celebrity mentioned it on an award show, and it's where they take contestants and they put them out there and they have to survive a certain period of time. And so they did like 2 or 3 seasons on Vancouver Island. I watched them all because that's what we did on quarantine, watched them all. And Vancouver Island was a very challenging environment because it was like very dense brush. The weather, could really be unpredictable. So, wow. Survival began from the ground up in your family, it sounds like. So that's amazing. So a little bit about Nature's Path. How did your involvement with the company, you've been involved since it started, since the very beginning, or?
Yeah, my parents always made it very clear to us kids, there are 4 of us. I have 2 older sisters and a younger brother, that if we're interested in joining the company and working alongside them, that the opportunity was there. And so from a young age, we would be doing things like stickering boxes. And I worked in the vegetarian restaurant starting from the age of 13 as a baker's apprentice. And
Cool.
While I was in college, I would do summer internships at the company, including working in quality assurance and testing raw materials as they come into our factory. Doing data entry, but I wasn't really sure if being in business was for me. I was always passionate about our environmental core, but not really sure about the business part of the business. And I think 2 things really changed things for me. So one was during one of the summer internships, we had this amazing marketing VP who really encouraged me to lead with my values and to bring my concerns about the environment into the work that I was doing. And then the second thing was attending a Bioneers conference. I don't know if you guys heard of the Bioneers conferences.
I've not heard of the Bioneers conferences.
Yes.
And now I'm embarrassed.
Yes, you should be embarrassed. Because on this show, Noel usually is the guy 99% of the time is already aware of every topic I bring to him. So,
but I'm stumped.
It's important to school him from time to time.
It is. I need to be humbled.
Please teach him about Bioneers. Yeah.
Yeah, Bioneers is a conference that happens in Marin County. Pretty much every year. And it really focused on biological pioneers. So people, organizations, not-for-profits that are focusing on building up the health and the connection of our planet and each other. And so there are a variety of topics that they covered. And so I went to one, and there was a panel of interface carpets, someone from a sustainable investment company, Paul Hawken, and Ben Cohen, who helped start Ben and Jerry's. And
oh, nice. Yeah.
And it was like totally eye-opening for me because I learned about what Interface was doing to create a truly sustainable business model. And, I heard Ben Cohen talk about the impacts of selling his business and what that had done to the culture of the organization. And it really drove home to me the importance of remaining an independent business, if we really want to be true to our purpose of leaving the earth better than we found it. The business model is almost as important as what you're doing. Right. And then the second thing was that there's just so much opportunity to do more to make our business more sustainable.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I took that back to the company and I talked to my parents and shared my passion, and they said, okay, well, if this is what you want to do, then go do it.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
yeah, so I helped build out our sustainability strategy, and it's kind of been an adventure since I joined the company full time in 2002, and I've been working in sustainability since 2005.
Wow.
Awesome.
So what would you say are your top kind of topics that you love to get into when it comes to sustainability? Like what drives you in regards to sustainability?
Yeah, I mean, we have a number of core areas of focus. So
Sure.
the first one is to grow organics.
That's
So
huge.
that includes growing the amount of land that we're supporting through organic food. Through organic agriculture. So everything that we make is certified organic.
Great.
It includes work around protecting the integrity of the organic standards, some of the work that we're doing on regenerative organic farming. Another pillar that we have a focus on is zero waste. So all of our facilities are zero waste to landfill certified. And what that means is that of all the waste that we produce in our manufacturing facilities, at least 90% of it is diverted from landfill.
Yeah.
And I think on average, it's like 35%. So we've done a lot to work with farmers to take our food waste and recycling. So that's been a really proud accomplishment, because we're the first company
Definitely.
in North America to have that certification in all of our facilities. We're passionate about addressing climate change. Since 2008, we've been buying renewable energy credits for all of the electricity we use in our manufacturing and in our head office.
Yeah.
And giving back is really important to us as well. So over 11 years, we've donated about $40 million worth of food to food banks and other food hunger relief organizations across North America.
Fantastic.
That's so terrific. And just to get an idea, the zero waste thing. So we do a lot of manufacturing in Mexico. We've got a facility in Guzman, Mexico, for this other. Apart from the whole entertainment podcast fun stuff we do, we also have a business where we reduce emissions. So like, carbon emissions, that's our bread and butter business, right? So we produce an additive basically that helps to reduce the carbon impact of diesel, gasoline, fuels, things like that. So we have a few facilities, but we have one that we were able to get to. It's our first one to get to zero waste, which we went through the Sustainable Development Goals program and got a UN certification and the whole deal. And that like with what we work on doing that, it's mostly with concentrate. It was hard, but it's not like we have millions of tons of product that are running in and out of it that we have to be careful with in terms of like being zero waste was hard, but it wasn't so ridiculous because of the way we do our business, because we work a lot with concentrates.
Yeah.
So just so people get an idea, that the idea of having like 100% zero waste facilities for a business that's making food, that's a really incredible accomplishment. That's a very difficult thing to do, because you have a lot of potential waste that's coming in and out of your facility at all times.
Yeah.
Just by the nature of what you're doing. So that's really, really well done. I just wanted to give just acknowledge you, a shout out because
thank you so
because I know how hard it is to do at a smaller scale, and to do it when you're dealing with that much product, it's really something. It's not. It's it's just people don't quite know
how much what that would mean.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
it's incredibly well done, and that's awesome. That's really great. Just apart from the fact that making organic foods and replenishing the soil that you're using are two, again, massive things when we talk about food, which is look, there's a lot of people out there, and we're all eating.
Yeah.
We're not going to stop eating.
All the time. Never stop eating.
Right.
Especially with children.
Don't stop. Never stop.
I won't stop eating. I promise. That's one of my 2021 resolutions. Don't stop eating. Don't stop eating.
Yeah, we do that a lot when we break in a song, and this.
Yeah.
We
It just
apologize.
happens.
Feel free to join us
great.
at any moment.
Yeah, I was going to say my grandfather, in addition to being a farmer, was a songwriter as well.
Really?
So
I love it.
Yeah, we have a very musical family, and we grew up singing quite a bit. So I love it.
So
keep breaking out.
on the nature's path, you'll be serenaded more
That's
than
it.
likely. Yeah, there's musicians out there, so that's
They
great.
have minstrels.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
up
it.
and down yeah.
But to your point, lots of eating, lots of consuming. It's very difficult
Well,
to.
and people need to someone needs to take responsibility for it. And here
Yes.
we have an example of people who are.
Absolutely.
And I just want to highlight it.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm just trying to highlight things.
I am
Jacob.
glad you highlighted it. And you mentioned the regenerative agriculture thing, and I know that that's a big thing, a big part of your business is this regenerative agriculture. Tongue twister right there. I know we've covered that on this podcast when we talked about soil degradation,
Yeah.
but can we talk specifically about kind of nature's path and what you guys are doing, and then regenerative agriculture? Gosh, I can't say that dadgum word. Sorry.
Regenerative.
Yeah, no, it is a bit of a tongue twister. So for us, regenerative agriculture really has to start with organic agriculture as a base. If you're thinking about regenerating
See, I spread it to you.
ecosystems, I know.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You know, and for you, it doesn't matter, right?
doesn't, but
Because
for-
you can just go about your day never
Yeah.
having to say it. But poor Jody here,
And
it's part of her business.
And the people who
you've
listen to the
ruined
show,
her.
the people who listen to the show are like, well, I'm not surprised at Jacob at all. But anyway, go ahead.
If this sticks, we apologize.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
me.
no.
Yeah.
It's all good. So when you're thinking about regenerating ecosystems, that has to include looking at the totality of the ecosystem. So if you're using chemical sprays, toxic pesticides, our belief is that you can't really be regenerative
Right.
because you're polluting water, you're killing biodiversity, and it's also has negative health impacts for the farm workers. So our definition of regenerative starts with organic as its core principle. And then from that, it kind of builds on, really protecting and preserving the health of the soil so that it has the ability to capture more CO2. So incorporating the idea of carbon farming into organic farming. And then regenerative organic certified, it has that. And then it also looks at animal welfare and then human welfare as well. So to ensure that people are being paid a fair wage. So
That's
this
great.
is stuff that a lot of organic farmers are already doing,
Right.
but it's just kind of codifying it to ensure that those practices are being maintained.
Yeah.
And we did a regenerative organic farming trial on our farm in Saskatchewan. We have a 5,000 acre, or our family has a 5,000 acre farm in Saskatchewan, and we were the first and the largest oat farm to receive this regenerative organic certification.
That's
Wow,
awesome.
That's great.
Very cool.
So, do you think that the reason that it's not more common is just because it's harder, or like what like why do you think it isn't a more like what it's I mean, obviously this is spreading. There are a lot of organic farms out there. There's a lot
things
of
are
people work
changing
on that,
a little bit, yeah.
But most of the food is still not made that way. So, like, do you have an idea as to why you think that is?
Well, I think there are a whole bunch of systems that unfortunately are kind of working against organic farming, right?
Okay.
So you think about insurance. It's taken a long time for insurers to even provide insurance to organic farmers.
Wow.
So in crop, weather patterns change year by year, and there's a lot of investment that goes into planting a field. And so it's important for farmers to have some insurance if, there's a drought. And so that's been, I think, a hindrance, and there have been some improvements made in the past number of years. We had a farmer that I talked to about 5 years ago in Saskatchewan, and I asked him why he converted to organic. And he said that, he went to the bank to take out a loan to buy a piece of equipment. And the bank said, well, if you want the loan, we need to have a guarantee that you're going to apply X amount of pesticides, X amount of fertilizer to your farm so you can get a guaranteed yield. And the cost of all those inputs were larger than the loan itself.
Wow.
So you
Yeah.
think about, it's the financial institutions, the insurance institutions, farm subsidies. So I think, there are a lot of things that have prevented, I think, the further spread of organic agriculture in North America. But, as you see more successful organic farms, as other farmers see more successful farms, I think, one stat that I read, organic farmers make 3 to 6 times more than their conventional counterparts. And a lot of that is, we don't have those heavy inputs. There is a strong economic case and obviously strong ecological case for converting to organic.
Sure. Yeah. But then you also have to be a better farmer because you've got to have a better farm.
You got to know what you're doing.
Because in order for you to keep the crops going and everything working, you've got to know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Which is also, that's better. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's good to be a better farmer,
I love it.
I think.
you guys have a ton of products, way more than I even think I knew you had. Because I remember seeing Nature's Path for years and years. You go to Trader Joe's. I would visit my in-laws. There was always be a box of Nature's Path, and I've known that name for a long time. But there's a lot more types of cereal and breakfast food that you guys have. Are those things that you can find in everyday stores, or is it something that you kind of you can get the more general, Nature's Path cereal, and then if you want to step up your Nature's Path game, you got to go online and order them. If you want to stock your house in nothing but Nature's Path. That's what
is that your goal, Jacob?
That's my goal. I told you, never stop eating. Never stop eating.
Yeah, we kind of, our business grew up in the natural food industry. So I think if you go to your co-op grocery stores, you'll find like a pretty wide array of Nature's Path products. And if you go to Safeway, then you'll find like a smaller selection or Costco. But we are available pretty broadly. But for the full meal deal, you want to go to your independent co-op grocers.
That's what I want.
Jacob's going to open the Nature's Path restaurant.
That's right. I'm going to start it's going to be from my garage, and I'm going to I tried for the first time before we had you on the show. I got to bring home a box of the Sunrise Vanilla Crunch. That was the type that I had, and it was my job. I wanted to have some of this new stuff that I'd never had.
No, this is fun. No, to set this up a little more.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it.
Jacob, before we leave, so we were so lucky. We'll put the picture up online, but we were sent. So thank you. We were sent a whole bunch of just Nature's Path stuff. We had arms full of Nature's Path stuff.
Yeah.
We're like, this is amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
And so Jacob said, Noel,
before we have Jyoti on the show,
Noel, you make sure, Noel, that you take this, and he handed me the fruit corn flakes, the pear flavored corn flakes. Yeah. He said, you have to eat this so that you can talk about this.
Yes.
As well as your bran flakes, which you
already have.
But he's like, you got to eat this. It's very important. He said, I'm going to take this home and I'm going to eat this so that we are informed and we've had the product and we can talk about the product when we are on the show with Jyoti.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yep.
And then tell your story about what happened to you.
So then I bring it home. I have 2 sons. And one is 6 and one is 12. And I brought it home and they were, we were all like, oh, this looks so good. And we all had a little bite, not poured out as a bowl of cereal, just each had a little bit. And all of us were like, this is great. I love vanilla. And apparently so do my children. So I go to bed. I wake up on Friday morning and without my knowledge, they've dug into the box, fully and had their bowls of cereal. And so I went about my day and I thought, okay, this weekend, I can't wait to sit down and have my bowl of this Sunrise Vanilla Crunch. And I go to get the box and it's empty. My children, within a day and a half, had completely had the entire box. And my son was like, when can we get more of that stuff? And I was like, they loved it.
He has no idea.
Yeah. Well,
after all that, he had a couple of flakes.
I had a couple of flakes. But my kids swear by it.
We'll have to send you another box.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
This one I'm going to eat in my car.
The one I want to try is are they Panda Puffs?
Well, yeah, they have Panda Puffs.
Oh, as a kid, I was right. So you'd see those commercials on TV for Kix, which is it's a non-organic brand. It's just this is a throw it, whatever. But the kids tested mother approved, and I was like, oh, I want to have Kix, and I had Kix once. I was like, oh, those are really good. Those are really tasty.
Yeah.
And then mother was not mother approved from there on
his
out.
mother did not approve them.
Never got them again.
Yeah.
And I saw that I was like, oh, I want to try Panda Puffs. So that's the next one I'm going to grab.
They're good.
Is those bad
really
boys.
good.
Have them. Yeah, you see them. Every time I see Panda Puffs, are Trader Joe's when I go to Trader Joe's. That's where I see them.
Well, I'm going to get my hands on those. Then we'll have you back, and I'll give you my full review.
We'll do a full episode only on Panda Puffs. We'll just sit here and eat them.
Yeah. If in case you're wondering, we're little cereal nuts. I'm one of those, like when I was young, that's all I would eat was cereal.
Yeah.
My parents couldn't feed me anything. I didn't like it. All I wanted was cereal all the time. So I'm a nut for it. So So you're my hero, basically, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
I love it. What are the most popular Nature's Path products? What are the ones that people are like, this is the number one item right here?
Yeah, I think like our top selling item is our pumpkin flax granola.
Oh, I've had that one.
Okay.
Yes, that is good. But
It's really good.
It only comes out certain times a year. It's seasonal, right?
No, it's actually
year-round?
available year-round.
Okay.
Probably just featured.
I bet
probably
you-
everyone puts it up front and goes, "Oh,
That's what I think.
It's
I think
Halloween. Have your
once
pumpkin."
you get to that time of year,
Yeah.
I think they put it in prominent displays or it gets featured a little bit more. But it's good. I can have it year round. I can be eating pumpkin flax on 4th of July like an animal.
Why wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
It's America. I love it.
But before we do eventually have to let you go. We don't want to let you go.
Yeah.
Our preference would just be to just forever sit here and have a conversation.
Yeah,
but I guess we can't do that because you have important things to do.
Yeah.
But before you go, there's something that we like to try to do for our audience is to give them some little kind of thing that they can take out of it. And this could be a tough question. And if you don't have an answer, it's okay. We'll come up with something.
Okay.
But is there to be organic or to support like organic or to find a way to kind of help in what you're doing, what would be one kind of simple change or simple thing that people could look to do or try to do or kind of like, put into their daily life to be a little better in terms of, food and soil, what you do?
Yeah. That's a great question. Obviously support organic foods and organic brands. I think, and I realize that that's not always realistic for everyone. Sometimes organic food is more expensive. So if you're on a budget, really focusing on those, I think they call them the dirty 12, the produce that have the heaviest amount of pesticide residues on them.
Right.
And then I think over and above that, just find. So just taking a step back.
Totally.
Yeah.
Believe me, there are so many times that we're sitting here thinking of things and we go, hey, well, okay. I can't phrase this. So don't, take your time. Yeah.
I think it's in order to really make the connection to food and soil and what you're putting in your body is to find ways to try to grow food yourself. I think, whether it's like a little pot of herbs or a full-on planter in your backyard or something on your deck if you have access. I think making that connection to soil, whether you can compost, you see that kind of cycle of waste and reuse and making soil. And building nutritious soil so you can have nutritious food, and bringing that close to home and into your home, I think is a good way to start thinking about food and the impacts that you can have.
I love that.
That's great.
That's a really great
advice.
A good thing all right. So there you go, folks. That's the thing we're going to work on now. That's what we're getting out of this. Let's grow something.
Yeah, I think that's a really great piece of advice because it is amazing. Our world that used to be the norm, once upon a time, our relationship to nature and food was we all had to grow it. Yeah. We all had to catch it. We all had to do it. And then one day it just magically appeared on a shelf and you went, great, I don't have to do that anymore.
That's the hilarity of modern society, right?
Yes,
So when we started off, your only problem was finding food.
Yes,
basically.
that was your only problem.
Food and shelter, right?
Yes.
Like you got to be warm and you have to eat.
Yes.
And so like that was life. That was your job. You didn't go to the office.
No.
You went and found food.
You go, I got to find food again.
Yes. I keep having to eat this stuff.
All right.
Right.
So, but
now we have farmers who grow it for you. So you can just go to the store and buy it and eat it. And that means that we can now play on the internet all day.
Yeah.
And not do that.
Exactly.
Right? So that's the change. But this is a way of like going back to it and looking into, okay, so this is, if you want to understand what what it is, do it.
Yeah.
Grow something. So would be a simple something that somebody could grow, do you think? What's a good, like, real basic, grow one thing that's probably good chance it won't die. Maybe it'll die if you try again. But like for the person who just has no idea and they've got to do the easiest single kind of thing that is edible to grow, what would you recommend?
I find like arugula, a rocket, to be really, really easy to grow.
Awesome.
And it has an interesting spicy flavor. So if you're growing it with kids, they can it grows really fast. That's why it's called rocket. It shoots out of this pretty quickly. So there's like a good satisfying turnaround between when you plant and when you start to see it come out. So I think that would be a fun thing to grow if you have the space.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Arugula.
Great, that's it.
If I hear the word arugula, I have to reference the Steve Martin quote from My Blue Heaven, where he's in the grocery store and he goes up to the guy and he goes, "Do you have an arugula?" And the guy goes, "What?" And he goes, "It's a vegetable."
Vegetable.
It's classic. My Blue Heaven, Steve Martin. That's it. I will for the rest of
And
my
Rick
life.
Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
Yes.
Yeah. It's great movie.
Yeah.
But before you go, is there anything that Nature's Path is currently like in the works? Like this is our next goal, and this is happening, and it's going to be coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess two things. So the first is with our regenerative organic oats that are grown on our farm.
Awesome.
So we did a limited edition run last year, and we're going to be doing another one this year. We're excited about being able to do that again.
Awesome.
And then the second thing is around our packaging goals. So we signed up to the Ellen MacArthur New Plastics Economy Pledge, which is to have all of our packaging recyclable, reusable, or compostable by 2025.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so this year we're working on expanding our loop. Do you guys know about loop?
I do, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we're expanding loop into Canada, which we're really excited about. So that's focused on providing our products in reusable containers.
Right.
And then we're expanding the number of eco packs that we have, which use up to 66% less packaging. And then we have a number of packaging trials in the works around compostable and recyclable film.
That's awesome.
So I don't know if they'll all be done this year, but we're doing trials, and it's really exciting. And the team is actively engaged in moving this forward. So
Well, but that's the thing, right? Like you start, you go for it, you make the effort, you try to get it done. If it doesn't work out, okay, well we got that done. Now we're going to do better next time, and we'll keep trying. And that's how we get there.
Yeah,
that's the thing we're always telling people. It's like
you gotta try.
It's great to say I'm going to climb Mount Everest today, but you might not be able to do it today.
right. Exactly.
But that doesn't mean you can't climb some mountains and get yourself there, right? So it's that's terrific. That's really great to hear.
It's good to have a company on that really, is part of the green culture and really puts their money where their mouth is. You know what I mean? Like this is a company that I think that you can go, okay, when I buy this stuff, they're actively trying to make a difference.
Yeah,
and I think that's great.
And I just can't be clear enough that farming responsibly is one of the most important things that we can do right now, because I know that there's a lot of land, but not all of it has great soil, and we're destroying a lot of the soil we have. So we're not going to be able to keep eating if we act this way. We've got to be responsible. Yeah. So Thank you for doing that. Thank you for caring about that and for making such incredibly, surprisingly tasty food, even the healthy stuff. I just can't get over it. So. Yeah. It's been awesome to have you.
Yeah, it's
Jyoti.
been great.
Yes.
It's been really, really great. So I'm sure people can just find most everything on naturespath.com. Is that the website? Is that it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Go out there, search, use your phones, use your computers, check it out.
Go to the store.
Go to your co-op.
Look for the Nature's Path logo. Yeah, pick it up. We highly recommend it.
Yeah. My kids sure do. Dadgum little whippersnappers.
Awesome.
This is the part of the show where we always allow our guests, if they want to say goodbye, they can say goodbye, or they can sit and watch us try to figure out what tags we have. Now, thankfully, it's the start of the new year.
We only have 2 tags, and I've already forgotten the second one.
I know what the word is. I just can't remember what the tag is. It's the neonicotinoids.
Right.
No more neonicotinoids or
something
whatever.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to try this.
We're going to give it a shot. So
So you should just stick around because I would say
It's
you have
gonna
a
be so
choice, but
short.
really,
It's going to be so short.
it's going to be so fast.
We are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
We are fighting neonicotinoids
forever.
destroying
I think destroying
neonicotinoids for a week and a half.
Yeah, she probably knows what those are, by the way, because that's
course.
a
Pesticide.
pesticide. That's it, folks. That's it. I'm retired. I'm stepping down.
This has been the best tag we've had in so long.
So
So by the end of the year, just so you know, Jody, our tags get longer and longer as stuff comes in and shows, and we'll
add them.
Well, like there'll be something that's interesting here, or like some phrase. We love the word neonicotinoids, which is why this is in the tags because that's just that's. It's a fantastic name for a horrible thing.
Yeah.
So, we're like, well, we got to put that in the tags, and then as the year goes on, it'll be 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 things long.
Sometimes
12, and then we get to the end of the year, and then it starts over with just we are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment, and we start over. But it's funny that we've already screwed up after.
already
just
screwed up. Look, it's January 2021, and the bar is low. The bar is low. But Jyoti Stephens from Nature's Path, thank you so much for joining us today. We'd love to have you back anytime. So I hope you had fun.
I did. Thank you so much for having me. It was a great conversation, and I loved your guys' energy. So
great. Cool.
Thank you. We loved yours too. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Now we got to do our buy thing.
Yeah, we got to do our buy thing. Are we going to keep doing that? Should we come up with a new buy besides? It's a new year. Like maybe we did Muppet sounds last year, but now
we used to go bah,
yeah, but
and
now we should
the
change
thing.
it.
Now he doesn't. He just wants to change.
We can do.
No, Matt, we probably should change it. We should do something. Should we do something elegant?
Yes. Let's do dignified buys.
Dignified.
Okay.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Cheerio. That's it.
Cheerio.
We're ending it right there.
That's it. From here out, cheerio for this year. That's how we're going to do it. You just called it. All right.
I love it.
Cool.
Cheerio.
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.